There's a familiar phenomena that seems to occur every time there's a bit of danger, a lot of danger, major danger, especially in Eretz Israel, and that is that many predictors turn up, like what we call desert grass, overnight, grow overnight, start predicting Moshiach's coming, this is a simon, that's a simon, there's going to be a rash tonight. In COVID, we had a Maggid saying that he knows this is proving from Tanakh, this is the end of the world, and so on and so forth, and he still continues speaking. We do not have a Messiah in that. We have to understand, is that Pshat? Is it now Mashiach coming? Is this what we have to think about? Is this what we have to concentrate on? Is this what the point of everything is for, or not? This phenomena, you could see, lahavdil elfei dollars in the Goyish world as well. At the time of crisis, there will be the millennium types, the people who believe the end of the world is nigh, etc., who, because of crisis, I remember in the year 2000, that's what happened. There was going to be end of the world, end of civilization as we know it, and so on and so forth. Go up a mountain, there's going to be Armageddon, things are going to happen. And there seems to be, it's a human trait to run to some sort of apocalypse when things are going hard. And we've had this going on in Eretz Yisrael, and we need a few things to do. One thing is to put things in perspective. This event, if one's allowed to call it an event, on Simchas Torah this year, this horrific event, this ongoing danger, but the actual event that happened on Simchas Torah was shocking, was an unbelievable midas adin, unbelievable hest upon him. Kodesh Baruch Hu took off Shmira from certain parts of Israel down south, allowed the Chayos Rois to run wild, violate, destroy, torture, and murder and burn, and do all sorts of horrific mutilation things to our Klal Yisrael, to our brothers and sisters. HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed that to happen. This was shocking, this was terrible, no question about it. Is it the worst thing that's ever happened to Klal Yisrael in its history? No. Have Klal Yisrael survived through such things? Yes. It could be it's the worst day, as they say, since the Holocaust. But the question always is, and what are you saying with that statement? Before the Holocaust, there was pogroms. Before the pogroms, there was Cossacks. There was crusades. There was inquisitions. All those were exceedingly cruel. Bovel was cruel. Cossacks were unbelievably cruel, what they used to do to pregnant women and so on and so forth. Unbelievable stories, and thousands of people in the day. Klal Yisrael has seen sorrows. I remember here when they sent rockets from Gaza about 5 years ago, 8 years ago, again, because there was tension, immediately Moshiach's coming, the worst things happened to Klal Yisrael. It's not the worst thing. Even in Eretz Yisrael, we've had things, we've had wars, we've had battles, and each one is dangerous, and each one requires tefillah, and each one is a midas adin, and each one we need rachmei shamayim, no question about it, and it's not to be ignored. But there's a tchuna to take things out of proportion, to always say what we're experiencing is the worst thing that ever could have happened to anyone ever, worse than the Nazis. It's not worse than the Nazis. There's a tchuna to do that. It's a sort of sensationalist thing, and then to run to a Mashiach idea. Tzibis Yeshua, Vafapi, Sheismamea, Im Kol Zeh Chakula. What does that mean? Tzibis Yeshua. Tzibis Yeshua, Chofetz Chaim expanded also to mean to any Yeshua. The Kodesh Baruch will help us. Lav Dafka has to be the Mashiach, but he'll help us out in a geula, in a mini geula, if you like, from the situation we're in. What does Tzibis Yeshua mean? Tzibis Yeshua, L'choira, the avoid of Tzibis Yeshua, especially when we're talking about Mashiach, is really supposed to be done when it's a comfortable time. When a person's living in his house, he's got his swimming pool, he's got his car, he's got his holiday plan, he's living in Chusla, everything's fine, he's in top of the world. And then, to be absolutely sure, no, that's not real life. You should want Moshiach to come, you should want a different olam, an olam of ruchnias, olam of das Hashem, olam of kulei toiv, etc., and end to golus, etc. That's the avodah, the hard avodah of to be absolutely sure. Avada, there's an inyan, and it's a mile in Klal Yisrael, that when there's a crisis, they'll believe there'll be a gula from Kodesh Baruch Hu, and they turn to Hashem and say, bring Moshiach, hopefully Moshiach will come. But when these people express ideas that he's going to come tomorrow, and I've got a noise at night, so this is going to happen, and in COVID the whole world's going to collapse, and I've got proofs, etc., and it keeps cropping up, and it keeps not happening, and then the answer will be, oh, it could have happened, it was supposed to happen, but there was midas harachmim, all these ridiculous things. Sounds like goyish charlatans, lahavdil, who also say those sort of things, vague, and then you can't really catch them out, because they didn't really say it, didn't mean it, etc., etc. We don't have a Masorah in this. We don't have a Masorah in this type of dibur. We've never had, in the last generations, someone who's manig our tzibur al pi Kabbalah, not through mozim in Kabbalah. It's always been a godel b'Torah tzadik yesaydolim and lamed vovnik be'etzem, because as Rav Shlomo Zalman said about Rav Shach, he's a lamed vovnik because people don't realize he's a tzaddik, etc. And manig ador, not basing his decisions on a posuk here and a posuk there and an idea like this and so on and so forth. This Anhoga goes with Torah, with Kedushas HaTorah, with Tzidkas HaTorah, with Omal HaTorah, etc., etc. But sort of, there is no Nevuah nowadays. So you can't say, I know tomorrow this is going to happen, I know tomorrow. Tzvizli sure means I have to want Moshiach to come. Meaning I'm able to say I want to dismiss my comfortable life that I'm living in and live a new life, a Torah-dika life, a pure spirituality to life, which is hard for me to separate from my life, and that's the avodah I have to do. But it doesn't mean that tomorrow Dafka is going to come. The famous story of the Brisker Rov, who told over the power of Chazal. He said once he imagined that there would be a time that Moshiach is supposed to come. You know, there has to be certain events, all coordinated. Now is the time, it's Mamish. This is Moshiach is about to come. What happens is, so the Elyon Novi with the donkey and the Moshiach, etc., polishing the shofar, donkey's getting prepared, all the malachim, the whole oilom is getting mamish organized, and there's koilos uprokim and everyone's getting happy. This is Elyon Novi is going to come and bring Moshiach, and in the corner there's a little rabbi sitting in the corner learning Gemara, and he puts up his hand and he says, no, you can't, because there's a sugya, yesh tchulim l'mala mi'asora, Elyon Novi can't come down on Shabbos because he's not allowed to come outside the tchum, where it goes, that's what we paskin. Can't come. If we hold Yesh Tchum L'Malim Yasora, you can't come, and therefore you can't come. Moshiach can't come on Sunday. We can't come on Shabbos. And if we miss this point, so maybe another 1,000 years, Moshiach won't come. Doesn't matter. Kedushas HaTorah, Chazal understanding Halacha, Elyon Novi can't come. Those are the Brisker Rov. That could have happened 1,000 years ago, by the way. Doesn't mean that now you have to wait 1,000 years. It could have happened 1,000 years ago. We don't know. We don't know how. We don't know why. We don't know when. But we know we have to want it. That's what's peaceful Yeshua, and that's what Vafapi Jismayim Kol Zeh Chakoloi. We don't have Hanhoga Alpi these stories. Why do they say it? If they're genuine Mekubalim, they genuinely have something. Maybe in the Hasidus there's a Kabbalah, there's a reason to say these things. Maybe in Kabbalah there's a reason to say predictions, which most of which don't turn out. So many times they've said things. Ikvus the Mashiach began in the First World War. Chofetz Chaim was talking about between the wars, Ikvus the Mashiach, Rabbi Chon Vassman, the second one was Ikvus the Mashiach. It's been 80 years. So it doesn't mean, if it's Ikvus the Mashiach, it can be Ito, it could be Achishena, it could be slow, it could be faster, we don't know. Ikvus the Mashiach means let's prepare. Our job is to do Torah mitzvahs and prepare ourselves and to want Moshiach and to want to get rid of our attachments to things that stop the Moshiach. That's our job. What's going to happen now, this minute, because there's spooky signs out, etc. That's not our mahalach. That's not what we understand. That's not the avodah at this time. The avodah at this time is to do our tachlis. Avada, to change drastically, because such drastic, horrific, unbelievable events that Kodesh Baruch Hu hit us in the midriff, on the nose, not a slap on the face, mamish, and winded us totally. Totally winded Klal Yisrael. Anyone who b'shmei Klal Yisrael is totally winded has to understand there has to be drastic change. Change within our hoggers, not change jumping up and down and grabbing onto straws. Moshiach's here, Moshiach's there, he's going to come tomorrow, etc., etc. Moshiach, we have to want him tomorrow. Will he come tomorrow? Could be, but I have to want him to come tomorrow. That's what it means to have Tzipis Yeshua.